3AW.
It's 4 to 5, 3AW. This is a great surprise, a wonderful surprise. It doesn't often happen. The glamour of breakfast radio comes to midnight to dawn.
It had to happen eventually.
And it has, in the form of Peter Maher. He has strutted in like a proud peacock that all breakfast people behave like.
They do, don't they?
And here he is right before me. Hello, Peter Maher.
Hello, my boy. Hello, Mark. Well, it's the last time I'm going to see you because Kate and I finished today. And then Ross and John are obviously back on deck on Monday. And I just thought I'd pop in and quickly say hello, say goodbye.
Oh,
hello
thank you.
And goodbye. And hope, like anything, that our paths may cross again in the future.
I hope they do, Peter. Yes, it's been a pleasure listening to you and Kate. Isn't it nice to hear a girl on air on 3AW? There's not enough of them.
No, there's not either, although she has not been easy to work with, Andrew. I'm not going to bring it up now, but that's not, as we all know.
It's still got the problem with the old tipples. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No. That's not. It's 2015. We can talk openly. The woman has problems, and they're manifest. But even so, I think you've been a great steadying influence on her.
They're lovely words, and I appreciate you saying that. The one thing I'm going to probably miss more than anything else, apart from the wonderful talent you bring to the microphone, is your stories regarding your father, your late father, KB, who was a travelling salesperson with you and he in the Ford Custom line.
That's right.
Going the length and breadth of Victoria selling cloth.
That's right.
To the haberdashery stores around Victoria.
That's right.
And
you love those stories.
I just simply adore them because my mum and dad had a furniture shop in Deniliquin, and the travelling salesperson to me was nearly the most sophisticated man I ever met.
You were very impressed with them, weren't you?
Oh, yes. Well, you got to understand, seeing someone coming from the city so beautifully attired. I bet your dad always had the lovely suit on.
He had a magnificent grey suit that was bought in Hong Kong. It was one of those 24-hour tailors. But it was very hot, I think, as I seem to remember Dad complained, but it had a little bit of a shiny thread in it. He was really, when I think back, he was quite spiffing, Dad.
Well, they were very much, they were the men of the time. They seriously were, and especially coming in, they were for a young person, a young man in the bush. You know, it's so impressionable when you saw one of those shops, and they always drove a beautiful car.
Yes, I didn't mention the Ford Custom line was followed by the Chrysler two-tone grey Royal with the fins on the back. It was, when we rocked into Bairnsdale, I'll tell you, the whole town gaped.
And how old were you when you were on the travels with KB? Well, you were taking the school holidays, obviously.
Yeah, every school holiday. I can't remember a time when I didn't go, because I think 5 onwards, up until the age of about 13.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And KB was a little bit prone, was he not, as well, to a Craven cork tip cigarette? So would he be knocking over 30 of those in the car while you were in the car with you?
With the windows wound up, while on those windy roads, I slid across the back bench seat.
Very healthy.
As Dad drove at 85 miles an hour on the custom line to make, I've got to get to bloody Miller's Drapery in Bairnsdale. So if I don't party, it'll be closed up. So we'd be up the highway. When I think about it, I mean, you'd be arrested these days. No seatbelts, of course.
No, there wouldn't have been any seatbelts either as well. And the roads were nowhere near as at the quality that they are today.
No, and Mum and Dad both puffing the cigarettes full steam with the windows up in the front seat.
And would Mum ever come on the country runs as well with KB?
Oh, yes, she'd often come, but she used to dip out a bit, and in the end, I'll leave it to you boys, she said. I think Mum had enough a bit after a while. It was a bit boring because you had to stop and talk to... I had to just wait in the car while Dad talked to the...
That was going to be my next question. So did you get out of the car?
Very rarely. Wasn't Dad used to lock me in the car, actually, because when I was very young.
Oh, great.
For safety reasons. When I think about it, the man was a swine. Peter, thank you so much. It's lovely to talk.
And to you as well. And good luck to both yourself and Mark.
Thanks, Peter.
3AW 693.
Your discussion with Peter Maher.
Oh, yes.
I also love your travels around Victoria stories, but what rang a bell with me was you talking about your parent, well, in my case it was my parents, smoking in the car as you were driving. In our case it was back and forth to our holiday house at Anglesey. And also, you know, it put me on, probably the best thing that ever happened to me, it put me off smoking for life. I cannot smell a cigarette without wanting to wind down a window and throw up. But it also reminds me of someone, I don't know how, but someone tried to convince Dad that smoking cigars and pipes were in fact a lot better for you than cigarettes.
A healthy alternative.
A healthy alternative. It was sort of like Diet Coke. And so he decided, rather than smoke cigarettes in the car, he'd smoke cigars and pipes. Oh. So you can imagine how that went down with the 3 kids in the back. Oh. Yeah, no seatbelt, and you know, and Dad puffing away on a cigar.
But you survived.
Oh yeah, and going around the Great Ocean Road. You can just, yeah.
Lovely and twisty with the windows up.
Let's have a little visit, to Lorne. Gentlemen, I know we're coming up to the 5:30 news. A lot on this morning, which we will be tackling, which will be very serious. But I also seriously want to say to you two, good luck, and with whatever you choose to do. It has been a fantastic show. You should be very proud of the body of work you've done. You've entertained people, but also more than anything, which is a really important gig, you've been good friends to so many people who are listeners and to those in the industry. You're ornaments to the game.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, very much. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, mate.